Hello, this is John with Coffee Reviews, and today we will be discussing the Panama Elida Estate Anaerobic from Onyx. And here's the box right here. And let's go ahead and talk about this coffee real quick. So this is the most expensive box of coffee that I've reviewed on this channel so far. $38.50 for 4 ounces, which comes to about $10 per cup of coffee that I made. I have this right here, day 13 of its roast date, and the final cup of coffee to sip on while we do this video. And I don't think I've seen any, well, I've been monitoring Onyx for a while. I think this is the first anaerobic dish I've ever seen from them, which was a super exciting idea. Panama obviously being, if not my favorite, one of my favorite coffee countries, coffee origins in the world. This was a no-brainer that I had to try it as soon as it was released, and I guess we'll go ahead and just start talking about this coffee. Now, given that it's a smaller box of coffee and I only have a couple samples, I started on day 7. And at day 7 I was getting an abundance of wild flavors, some tropical fruits, watermelon, Jolly Rancher. So what I was getting quite a bit of, and a nice grape candy finish on there. Day 9, there were some tropicals coming out, mangoes, pineapples. Florals were getting more strong, and I was definitely getting quite a bit of jasmine. On day 11, which we will call the peak day, is when I created my tasting wheel. And on that day I was getting a lot more of the florals. I felt like the florals were getting stronger the more days that had passed on this. So by day 13 the florals were the strongest. Still a lot of tropical flavors, but that was the most notable thing in the coffee. And here we are in day 13, and I think one thing I can say is that a lot of geishas can be a little bit more subdued and subtle with their flavors, but this is a lot more kind of punchy with their flavors. They're a lot more forward, they're a lot more noticeable, and a lot more prominent. While the coffee still does maintain a very light body that you associate with geishas, I don't know if it may be the anaerobic processing that keeps this coffee so bold and vibrant, but there definitely is going to be a lot of flavors all the way through day 13. Let's go ahead and put up the tasting wheel right now so you can see what I was getting from this coffee. And I put the cleanliness and the sweetness to the maximum because I felt like this coffee, it does kind of punch you in the face with these flavors. Floral very high, citrus fruit for that pineapple very high, the mango very high. As you can see, this coffee, it doesn't do medium, it doesn't do middle ground on this. There's no smokiness, no bitterness, no caramel, no chocolate, none of that for me, no saltiness, no spiciness, low acidity. But when it does have something, it's very high on this list. The only thing that's kind of neutral is the berry fruit, which get a little bit of grape, and that's where the berry fruit comes from. But the grape seemed to have tapered off after day 9. It's just mostly that jasmine now. And I even wonder, looking back, if maybe day 7 I wasn't getting grape so much as I was getting that kind of lavender, those florals, instead that I just perceived as grape. But either way, as you can see with this coffee, just highs and lows, and that's kind of typical with what you associate with coffees like this, geishas. You can get a lot of clarity and a lot of flavor, but not a whole lot of body and not a whole lot of other things from that bag, box, cup of coffee. And when it comes down to it, I think I'll kind of look at it this way. The type of people I don't suggest this for is traditional coffee drinkers. If you're very certain you're bold, chocolatey, nutty cup of coffee, of course this doesn't appeal to you, but I think it kind of appeals to everybody else. The type of people that do like to experiment with their coffee, the type of people that are into the fruity coffees, the type of people that like something that's so unique, different, and extreme, high on these sort of extremes, for lack of a better word. Was it worth the $40? And I think the answer for me is probably yes. And I kind of wonder if that might be the case for other people, because I'm obsessed with Panamas and I've recently come to loving anaerobic coffees. Anaerobic processing is something that I'm a big fan of. A lot of my anaerobic reviews have received such positive acclaim because they are giving you such bold and vibrant flavors from that. And I kind of wish this, obviously I wish this would have been a bigger bag of coffee, because then I could have continued to try this and see when it does kind of start to taper off. Because here we are on day 13, and the coffee is still so vibrant, so kind of in your face with its flavors, that this definitely isn't the last day where it's going to be an amazing cup of coffee. And I guess that's for the best, you know, don't live to see the coffee kind of start to die a little bit, but I don't know what else I might have gotten from this coffee, and I won't find out now, but very fun experience, I would say. Something that's, if you're, you know, definitely if you're big into coffee, you want to experience this. Still very nice. Enjoyed it. I'm enjoying it to the last drop. But I'm just gonna leave that. I'm just gonna leave that there. So if you tried this coffee, go ahead and comment. Let me know what you thought of it as well. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and like, subscribe. I really appreciate it. I've been getting a lot of new followers and some positive feedback that I really appreciate. Everybody that does that. And yeah, this has been a discussion of the Panama Elida Estate Anaerobic from Onyx. Thank you for watching.